I'm honored to be presenting Meghan McCain with the Warrior for Truth Award. For the last 2 years, I've had the pleasure of serving as Meghan's producer at The View on ABC News. When you're working in broadcast, there are 1,000,001 reasons why certain stories get told and others don't. Usually those reasons are not of the honorable variety. Our generation has grown journalistically feeble. Guests get their questions handed to them in advance, writers pursue clicks, not truth, and controversial topics are avoided like the plague, all to appease an ideological mob which now governs our newsrooms. Meghan is different. I've watched her cover stories that others would be afraid to touch with a 10-foot pole. I've watched her fight for segments and guests, like Joey Borgen, who without her support would never otherwise have access to the kind of audience that her platform commands. I've watched her go toe-to-toe on live TV with politicians, industry titans, and beloved pop culture icons. She is fearless and persistent in her search for truth. I wasn't privileged to know the late Senator John McCain, but I've seen his legacy in action each and every day that I work with Meghan. Like her father, Meghan has an innate ability to speak the truth plainly and boldly. She is consistent in her intellectual honesty within an industry that has been ravaged by fear and capitulation to extremism. It is this intellectual honesty, combined with an unshakable moral code, that has led her to be a tireless defender of righteous causes, from freedom of speech to the rights of dissidents like Alexei Navalny, to the integrity of our electoral system, and very close to my heart and all of ours, the State of Israel. At a moment in which standing up for Jews, standing with Israel, and standing against anti-Semitism is decidedly not in vogue, Meghan has been our staunchest ally, our most loyal friend, and sometimes the lone voice in our corner. Unlike so many motivated more by scoring political points than by standing up for what's right, Meghan calls out anti-Semitism wherever she sees it, whether on the right or the left, whether at home or abroad. Meghan's approach to anti-Semitism is Churchillian. She fights them on the beaches, on Twitter, in print, and on broadcast. And for her unwavering support and friendship, I will never stop being grateful. It is my great pleasure to present her with the Warrior for Truth Award.
So much, Daniela. I love you so much. You are my sister. She was my producer at The View and then left with me, and is just an incredible, brilliant fellow Zionist in a sea of media that is not. So I'm grateful for your friendship, your support, and everything you have done for me and so many people. She's a really brilliant writer, too, just FYI. I'm really honored to be here. It's really incredible to be receiving this award. It is strange for me to receive an award for something that I think should be normal, everyday, rational thinking. It continues to be weird to be applauded for speaking out for anti-Semitism because it is something that I was raised, obviously, to believe, like every American should be. But I'm very happy to be here tonight, and thank you to everyone at the Algemeiner, to Editor-in-Chief David Ofun, to Chairman Bernard Henry Levy, and to all of you here tonight at the J100 Gala. It really is an exhilarating moment to receive the Warrior for Truth Award. I stand alongside truly great men and women who have received this award and this honor tonight, including this year's recipients and honorees, Ambassador Erdogan. Nina, like the most incredible speech ever, please run for office. I'm never intimidated following people, and I was hearing you speak. I mean, just incredible. and Deborah. The Algemeiner readership and the J100 Gala attendees here know better than most that telling the truth is particularly important in this moment in time. There is a famous quote attributed to George Orwell: "In a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act." First, I should tell the truth about the quote, Orwell never said that. But that doesn't make it untrue. I actually have found that it's more true right in this moment than at any point in my lifetime, because the truth is that the untruth is on the march. We see it on the march abroad. We see it when Vladimir Putin conducts an election he declares free and fair. We see it when the Communist Party of China says that there is no genocide in Xinjiang, and when the Iranian regime says its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes, or when Hamas says it acts in self-defense. And we see it in the resurgence right now of the oldest and most vicious untruth of them all, the ancient hatred that is anti-Semitism. It has been revived and resurgent in our present day. It's the sort of thing we used to think was consigned to the very bitter past, or benighted corners of the world bereft of common decency. Instead, in 2021, we see Jews and Jewish life under attack even in our own country. We see Jewish diners in Beverly Grove, California, a nice little upscale neighborhood in greater Los Angeles, people physically assaulted by shrieking attackers waving Palestinian flags. We see a brick thrown through a window of a kosher pizzeria in Manhattan's Upper East Side. We see Palestinian activists viciously attacking peaceful Jewish protesters in Times Square. We see a swastika drawn on a synagogue in Salt Lake City. We see vandalism of Jewish sites, of Jewish graves, coast to coast. We see Jews walking down their own streets in their own communities, attacked simply because they are identified for wearing their yarmulkes. Anti-Semitism is abhorrent and innately un-American. We are Americans. What do Americans historically do when we meet up with the fanatical movement bent upon the eradication of Jews? We fight them, and we're gonna fight these people too. We're gonna tell our children that it was the duty of good men, of good Americans, Jewish or not, to do their part to fight this ancient hatred. Because there is no place in America for anti-Semitism. There is no place in America for what we saw happen in 2021, both in the streets and online and social media. There is no place in America for a movement that attacks Jews in the street in broad daylight, because there's no politics that could possibly justify this abiding hatred and disgust. When we win this fight, and I promise you we will, it won't be because I was the warrior of truth. I am honored by the title, and I am very grateful for the award tonight, but the end we seek must be the work of many hands. We are going to win because we are all warriors of truth. You, the Algemeiner, everyone at this gala, everyone who possesses a heart for America and a passion for justice, you are the warriors for truth. It's very emotional to be here tonight receiving this award because sometimes there are moments in my life, my father died of cancer 3 years ago, where I know he would be proud of me, and sometimes I didn't know if he would end up being okay. And my love for Senator Joe Lieberman is really the reason why I'm here tonight, and my love of my dad and their old friendship. I grew up with Senator Joe Lieberman and Hadassah and his entire family, ostensibly being my uncle. He was there when my dad was sick, he was there right before he died, and he has become a second father to me. I'm actually speaking with him tomorrow night on this very issue on anti-Semitism. So tonight, I'm dedicating this to Senator Joe Lieberman and Hadassah because without them, I don't think the passion for Israel would be as intense in my family's heart. And it was passed down generationally from my dad and from him. I'm truly honored tonight to be around you and to be here. It's such a beautiful night to be around like-minded people. Don't give up the faith. There are many like-minded people all across the country, and thank you so much for having me.